What is up? What is up? Big Chad's coming to you. It's Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. This is an upload of a Twitter Spaces conversation I had 3 days ago. It's about an hour and 17 minutes, and it's going to go into YouTube. It's going to go into the playlist for Twitter Spaces. Right? These are awesome conversations. I encourage you to listen to all of them, especially if you're a new trader. I'm just getting started. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the recording. I'm going to be hanging out here in the chat room. So let's get this started. What's up, everybody? Just give me a few minutes to get this started. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to this on the replay, thanks for hanging out here with me. This is part of my Twitter Spaces series. This will be uploaded to my YouTube at Ched Trading. It's a Saturday. It is. I'm just finding a tweet here. It's a Saturday. It's what, the 22nd of October. Beautiful month so far, 2022. Warm and heartfelt thank you for everybody joining. This is a casual conversation. I want to hear from you. I want to talk about the market and really just take your questions. I don't really come in with like a preset type of thing of things I want to talk about, things I want to say. I really just get the conversation started, and we talk. Really, not that much has changed in a long time here. So I'm curious to see what people have to say and what they're asking about. Make a quick tweet here. 15 minutes forming. So we'll see. But anyway, the way this works, the format is there's a button right in the bottom left corner, which says like request to speak or request microphone or something like that. And I'd like you to do that. I really want to hear from you. You could sit and hear me talk the whole time. That'd be really boring. Um, it's much more fun, much more fun when you folks are asking questions. And really, that's what it's all about. So while you're here, I want to remind you I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That book has great reviews, and you can get it right now on Amazon, Kindle hardcover, paperback, and audio. There's also a free version on my YouTube channel at Ched's Trading. So I'd encourage you to check that out. Check out the playlist, Twitter Spaces. Check out the Masterclass webinar playlist. That is a bunch of great, great video options for you folks. And then go to the long form interview series. I have a lot of great conversations out there with some really excellent thinkers, analysts in this space. Check that out. Not sure if I just mentioned it, but the Masterclass webinars playlist is really a great place to start if you're just kind of starting to learn how to trade and you're not sure like where to start. So watch the Masterclass, watch the Masterclass webinar playlist. And again, I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I do a twice a week full market report for members of Bitcoin Live. I'm one of 6 or 7 contributors. For more than 4 years, I've been doing twice a week full market update, and I'm really proud of the work we've done there. So that's something you want to consider checking out. So listen, we've got a small group, much smaller than normal. I know things are quiet lately, but that's cool. So you're gonna have to hit that button in the bottom left corner to request to speak. That's how these conversations go. So hit that little button there in the bottom left. I'm gonna get once that's going, once we've got enough people requesting to speak, we'll get the conversation going. So let's get it going, folks. Hit that request button. And we'll give it just a few more minutes to get things started here. Folks, make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? We've got the first person requested. That's good. Let's get a few more. Hit that button in the bottom left. I want to bring you folks up. I'd like you to let me control the muting and unmuting. But until more of you start to request to speak, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be boring. You're just going to hear me talking myself, talking about nothing. So we just got one so far. We'll get Perry up there. Hang on, Perry. And we'll get some more folks. Hit that request button. This is your chance to ask me, anything you want to ask. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. We're just hanging out, And this is a great opportunity for you to ask questions. I'm going to send out a tweet inviting people to join the spaces. Join and ask questions. All right, sent that tweet out, and we got Tobias. And Tobias, good. All right, we'll start with Perry. Perry, what would you like to say? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Big Cheds. Talked to you a few times now. Bitcoin Live member.
Nice.
Love it. I'm sitting in my office studying for the CMT.
Good for you, buddy.
And I'm trying to focus on that and not look at the market as much because it's been a bit of a struggle lately.
Well, it's been so boring. It's easy to not look at the chart. Like for someone like me who checks every 3 minutes, I've been able to stretch that out to like 5 minutes because it's been so slow,
Yeah, and I mean it's hard to get into something that you want to be into for longer than a few hours because it doesn't seem to, everything just fluctuates so bad.
It's in a trendless market, right? The stuff
question,
the stuff we're reading about in CMT, right? All the stuff you're reading about, a lot of it talks about how you need like a market to reverse, like a moving average cross. They need a market to reverse a hammer stick, candle. You'd like something. You need something to reverse. So like trendless markets are the hardest to trade, and that's essentially what we have here, and we've had for a few months really.
yeah. And what I'm really finding is that as I read more and more of the CMT, I see where you go, like in your videos and Bitcoin Live and everything. I get it. I get it a lot more now.
Good. That's
Why you
fantastic.
say what you do.
Yeah, I mean, once you kind of learn the fundamentals, not like the fundamentals like tokenomics or quote unquote tokenomics, but if you understand like the basics of trend analysis and how a trend strengthens, how it weakens, and the kind of normal ebb and flow, then you can kind of from there it's easier to like contextualize, the price action. So it helped me greatly. I'm glad that it's helping you.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for putting me onto it because I'd never really heard of it.
Okay.
Until I started listening to you, and now, I would want to, as I get older, I want to kind of work less, do more of this, and I'm hoping that this is going to help me get there.
Hey man, if you keep putting in the work, I think you'll be fine, and you're definitely on the right track. So that's awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, Cheds.
Thanks, man. Take care, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Folks, hit that request button. We only got a couple speakers here. I'll answer any question you want. Life or chart, preferably technical analysis. But we've just got one speaker. Hit that button in the bottom left. That will allow you to come up. This is like an ask me anything, thing. It's not just me talking to myself. Tobias, it's your turn. Tobias, what's going on? Hit that unmute, Tobias, and we'd love to hear from you. Tobias Ludwig. Can you hear me, Tobias? We'll give him a minute. There you go.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, Tobias.
Yeah,
how are you
this is
today?
Toby. Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
I'm fine. I'm here in Mexico. I live in Mexico, but I'm German. That's why my name is pronounced Tobias, or Toby is fine.
Oh, guten Tag. Guten Tag.
Yeah, guten Tag. I have two things. First, a little bit more specific. I would like to take your opinion on QNT. For analysis, maybe to get back in. And the second one would be a suggestion or a question. I think it would be awesome and maybe help a lot of people if you would make a video where you actually like trading. You have done your analysis, you're waiting for the point, you enter when you take profits. I think it would be awesome to have a video. Not sure if it's a good idea, but I just want to throw it out.
Well, just to say, you already know all my techniques. I mean, have you seen the masterclass webinars yet?
Yeah, I have seen a good portion of it. Not all, but I have seen a good portion.
There's 4 videos. You really have to watch all 4. And then if you watch my quick market updates playlist, like I go through a lot of like, I took this trade, I took that trade. Here's why I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most instructive than watching like whatever trades I'm in and hoping I play it perfectly and do it right. And it goes like the way I want it to.
Yeah.
It's all there. A lot of like 99% of what people are asking for is already there. on my YouTube. So I'd say watch the masterclass playlist, and then watch the quick market updates, and then come back to me if you kind of still don't have what you need, and I'll think about that. Is it QNT you had a question about?
Yes. What's your take on that? Do you
Still
see it
bullish.
still
Still quite
being?
bullish.
Yeah, I see it as well. So I'm more or less looking for an entry point. I don't know if we're going for an ABC correction here to see a little bit of a lower low than the last. I don't know.
Well, look at the daily chart. Where did it bounce off of the last 2 times in the daily chart?
Yeah, exactly. We just had a bounce or
On
like
what?
a rejection yesterday.
But what's the level? It's the middle Bollinger Band. It perfectly bounced off the daily middle Bollinger Band the last 2 times.
Yeah.
It did it on the October 20th, and then it happened on October 13th. So now, and then if you go back, it also held, just before it accelerated back on, end of September, the 22nd. So like we have to listen to the price now. The price is telling us that's like the definite buy the dip level. Okay, there are other potential levels. If you look at like the $150 area as an area of interest for me, I don't know if
Yes.
we'll get there or anything, but if we get another dip, another drop, to the MA20, I mean, that's where you want to buy, because that's where it's bounced the last couple times, and that's what the price is telling us, is the level to watch.
Yeah.
So, until proven otherwise, I think we want to continue to watch that level. What else you got for me?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm still struggling. I'm not full time trading. I don't always have the time, but there's so many aspects. So I got in like kind of early, around 100, but I sold too early on this one. So it's just more fine tuning and taking profits at the right time. That all fits together. I'm still lacking a little bit of experience there.
All right, brother. Well, it's great to have you. I'm glad you stepped up.
Thank you.
I hope you do well, man. Stay safe. Have fun, brother. All right. Let's get Kali Crypto. Kali in the house. What is up, Kali?
Hey, how you doing, Chad? I really
Yeah.
appreciate you answering everybody's questions and really appreciate your expertise and all that. And I am a beginner trader as well. I've been trading for about 8 months now, and I do have a couple questions here. So,
Okay.
since Bitcoin has already hit its pi cycle bottom at around 19K, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
seeing as it's respecting this level, and with everything in the news about OPEC, the economy, as well as inflation, it seems to be already priced in. And I just
What's priced in? What's priced in?
the bottom. I mean that's just what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As far as because the S&P keeps dropping, but Bitcoin seems to like to respect that $19,000 to $21,000 level. So I
It
just
sure is holding here, huh? It's kind of just sitting there. It's stuck there almost, right?
right, right. I just want to know, do you think Bitcoin will break below 15,000? And if so, what are you looking for it to do to break below that level?
I mean, I think it's still it's at least 50% likely. Because you have to look at the trend on the weekly chart is still incredibly bearish. I mean,
Hmm.
the daily, it's easy to get kind of lulled into comfort in the daily chart because it's kind of just holding support. But look at the daily chart; you can draw a pretty clear descending triangle.
Mm,
What's a descending triangle? Descending triangle is where you have a established base of support, but every time it bounces, there's a lower high, right? There's more anxious sellers.
mm,
And then eventually that like diagonal line meets the horizontal, at some point the triangle will either break up or down, but like two out of three, a little bit more than that, it will break down, it will continue. Okay. So the daily chart, you can see, oh good, I have support. But if you go back and look what we did with Bitcoin, we held at 6K for like several months, and then boom, we dropped, to 3K real quick. And then that was the bottom.
gotcha.
So I think we still have to be really careful. Number one. Number two, the weekly chart still, like I said earlier, it's really bearish. We're still below. We keep rejecting off the weekly EMA 8. We're well below the weekly 200. So there's still a lot of warning signs in the weekly. Bears are clearly in control of the longer time frame. So you have to say it's at least 50% likely we will break below this channel. Um, you know, what might it look like? Why would it do that? I mean, in terms of things being priced in, like everything's, if you and I are talking about something, it's priced in, right? Because
Okay.
the market knows about it. The market's smarter than me. It's smarter than you, right?
Hmm.
It's like it's already factored in the people who agree and disagree, and it's found like everything's priced to what it's supposed to be priced. That's one thing I've had to like teach myself. In the first X number of years of my trading, I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to believe like I knew better. This is really cheap, or should be worth X, Y, and Z. No, like the market, and it's priced what it's supposed to be priced at, right? So then you have the question of like, is there a trend, right? Is it strongly trending down, or is it strongly trending up? Like we're talking about trading. You said you're new to trading, and you want to put yourself in a position where you can identify a strong trend, and then you find a move against that trend, which is likely to fail, because that's how you trade. So you find a strong uptrend that has like a quick dip, a flash dip, and then you buy that weakness in the strong trend because it will most likely continue. And that's basically what trading is, kind of more abstractly. Okay. Um, I mean, it could bottom here, definitely. And yeah, it's kind of hung in there, but it also hasn't been able to bounce and really do anything. It's still below the key, the first key, level 22.5. It has to flip that. Then it has to flip 25.5. Just focus on those two levels, and kind of ignore the noise in between. All right.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what a pi cycle bottom is. That doesn't mean anything to me. I focus on support and resistance as expressed by, the chart where the price stops, where demand steps in, where sellers step in, all that. I look at moving averages. You see it all on my YouTube channel. You definitely want to scope out that playlist called Masterclass Webinars.
Yes,
You
sir.
will come out of that feeling like armed to the teeth. Like you'll be like, yo, I have all these new skills now, and I'm not going to get faked out. I get it. Like start with that. That will help you out a lot. No one knows if the bottom is in. Certainly not me. And the market doesn't seem to know either, right? But we have to recognize the fact that the longer term trend is still quite weak. Bears are still have an edge, if at least minimally a slight one, at worst. So I think we have to be careful until bulls really step in and do something, and then we can kind of reevaluate.
I really appreciate that answer. That's very, you gave me a lot of different angles there, and I really appreciate that. So thank you. And I will check out your masterclass webinar. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you, man. This is what conversation is all about. Folks like
Thank you,
you.
sir.
So thanks a lot, man. Have
Absolutely.
fun. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Next up, we got, let's see, my man Ebram is in the house. Ebram, would you like to join the conversation?
No, I'm good. I don't want to join the conversation. Thank you.
All
No,
right. Next up, we have Ebram.
just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah.
How we doing?
Good to talk to you again, Sheds. I mean, I had some
Thank you.
thoughts on my mind today, and it's great you have this space so that I can just, bounce some ideas. I mean, Kelly, he just covered a lot of the thoughts I had today.
Yeah.
Have we bottomed? Have we not bottomed? Honestly, nobody knows.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was just looking at the charts, and I honestly don't believe in fractals, but looking
Yep.
at 2018, we had lots of time when we went sideways before we dropped down to $3,000. And then the market has bottomed there, and then we had a huge pump right after that. Then we had the COVID drop
Yeah.
later on. So
Yeah.
sure, that is one way to look at the market. I think people back then also thought we have bottomed due to the price was not doing anything before we had this one more flush.
Yeah.
So that's always a possibility. Or we see another pump, very strong one from here. We take the weekly EMA 8, we
Yep.
take the daily 200, and then
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
think those
daily
were the
200
strongest.
would really, really be convincing.
Yeah. That's the thing. And but the position I'm in right now is I'm building a cash position on the exchanges I use.
Yeah.
Getting ready to buy the potential flush. But then I was struggling today. How do I place my limit orders for a bigger cash price? I'm not interested into trading this one.
You can't do
using
it now. You
leverage or
don't have enough
anything, but
information yet. There's not enough, Ebram. There's not enough information for that. I think you can put in like a partial buy, like a quarter position or like a 20%, I guess. And where are you going to put it? You put it at 14? Is it 13.5? Is it 14.5? I mean, your guess is as good as mine, honestly.
Yeah.
But you can put in like you do. There's nowhere. Nobody can tell you. Nobody can like run a math program or like a supercomputer and tell you where to put it right now. That like a majority position. It's just there's nothing. There's no information there. We're still in a trendless environment, but it's trendless edge bear. I mean, it's a descending triangle, and it's easy in a descending triangle from the psychology of the market, like we were talking about before, to get just lulled into, oh, we have support. Like, oh, we have support, right? So you have to wait for volatility. Wait for volatility, and then let your brain kind of go to work, and it will tell you where to put the bids.
Yeah, right. You're right. The thing that I just wanted to avoid is this situation when we go to bed and then there's a huge flush overnight, and then because I do not have any orders trying to catch that flash dump, we already missed the.
What are you gonna miss? If you're missing, quote unquote, the bottom, the benefit of missing the bottom is that now you can ride the other 96% of the trend. Mm-hmm. Like, what is the problem with like, oh, I missed the like nut bottom, but we now have a confirmed reversal? Great, let's go. Like, I'm ready to take the rest of it. I didn't get like, I mean, you missed like the first like half a minute of a movie. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's okay. But like I said, you can only put in a quarter position now. That's how you can kind of give yourself a little bit of a, kind of a hedge in your bets. Price triggers, have alerts on whatever software you use or various apps or whatever you can to alert you to like volatility moves, like a daily, Bollinger Band.
I don't need that. I just follow you on Twitter. It sends me notifications
what
when
if
you
I'm
tweet.
Sleeping? What if I'm sleeping? What if I'm sleeping or I miss it?
Then my thread alerts failed. Yeah.
I try to give you guys 100%, but what if I decide to take that day off? So, I hear you, but you also there's only so much we can do now, and that's the first step to doing what you can do.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Maybe I just need to come to comfort with the idea that sure, I'll never catch the proper bottom, and then there's always this riskier, I don't know, like very low percentile that we break below 10K. But if we did, I think that's gonna be really scary.
Well, I think if we break below 10K, I'm selling all my Bitcoin, honestly, and now
it will become a multi-year resistance. I think, yeah.
I mean, if I buy a lot at like 12, 13, I'm out. If we go below 10. I'm just not gonna hold on, because that's that's like a whole different paradigm. That's like, you can stay below 10 for a while if we get down there. So I can always buy whatever I sold back if we get back up above 10, right, and flip that. So that's a big red line in the sand for me. If we get down there, I think we probably will bounce if we get to the low teens. It's just a matter. Ideally, it happens on a big flush, a volatility flush, and not a slow bleed. The slow bleed is not good if you want a reversal. All right, man. Thanks for stepping up. Let's.
Thank you.
So we started out with no one asking, and now we have a nice little group. Athena, it's your turn. And folks, hit that request button. I'll probably speak to anybody who wants to talk to me today. Athena, what's going on? Can't hear you, Athena. By the way, you need to make sure Twitter has access to your microphone. Rainbow, hang on there, buddy. Let me get to you next. Athena, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Hi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm glad that worked out because I've never used this before. I've never actually spoken. I'm good, and I've been following you for a long time. Really appreciate you in this space. We've chatted a little, I think, on actual Twitter before. And
tell me, was I nice or was like a douchebag?
No, you were nice. I mean, I think I was complimentary, so I think it was easy.
That always helps you, right? Someone's like challenging you or saying something. It's always set up for us to fight each other. So like,
exactly.
I never know if I came across. Yeah. So
no, you're a great. You're a great, source of information and sort of real level-headed thinking, especially on the way down. And
thank you.
And it's been, your book was a great source of guidance for me early on in my trading journey. I kind of got, very committed to actual day trading about a year and a half ago. And I was a natural, or so I thought. I think I do have a pretty good natural talent, but in the bull run, it was easy. Yeah. And then I really got my ass handed to me, and eventually kind of grasped, the virtues of being a bear and finding my way down. And I've had some great moves, and I've had some real, bad panic trades. And I, have committed most of the mistakes that you flagged in your book repeatedly. But what I wanted to talk about just today, because I feel like we find ourselves in this really weird space right now. I mean, CT is pretty dry. I've been honestly almost like forbidding myself from going on to the charts because I'm making stupid mistakes. Like I'm breaking my rules. I'm making bad decisions because it's not clear. And in the
Give
past,
me like your last time. What's like what is it you're doing wrong? Like what's the last couple things you're doing?
You know what? I'll see a local high or low, and and because the range is so choppy, I'll go I'll go in being like, look, I'm gonna get out really quick. And my entry will be good. I'll make some profit. And then I think, well, what if this is where we have the drop? And it's so stupid. Like I don't cut. I wait until like I write it back to either the entry or worse. I've over leveraged. I've lost a lot of money in the last 2 months. I've made some bad mistakes, and really I know better. So right now I think my confidence as a trader, despite the fact that I really kind of blossomed, from a technical standpoint and also from a fundamental standpoint. I'm just wondering, since this is my first real bear cycle, and I understand that psychologically this is the moment that wipes out, I think, most traders. Like, what would you suggest for longevity and honestly survival?
So I have so many thoughts. I was like about to start writing them down. So I didn't forget. First of all, I'm gonna ask you, how's your discipline like in life? Like if you can you not have that cookie, or like what is it like? What's your discipline level? Because like there's a really strong correlation between like do you finish that set at the gym and like how well your trades work. So like figure that out, right? Your discipline is so much more important than skill, right, in trading. Okay, so like
let that point
marinate on that. Are you I'll say this point real quick and I'll go to the other one. The quick point is like sideways markets are really the hardest markets. So like you and everyone else is like getting like killed. So just like accept that. Like this is the hardest environment to trade, which is why really you should be doing nothing except I think only shorting altcoins that have really strong bounces. Those are the like easiest trades that are out there right now. You need to start using multiple positions, because if you have just one large position, where do I put my stop loss? And I don't want to move it up now. What if it continues? What if it dumps? You got to break that up into like 3, 4, 5 positions and then stagger your stop losses. Leave 2 back at entry, leave 2 at break even, and then maybe move 1 up into profit. You have to give yourself more flexibility. Find ways to add flexibility where you're encountering rigidity, right? Where you're set up these kind of binary, I either win or I lose situations, you're going to lose. So give yourself more flexibility, focus on your discipline, and understand that it's just a really shitty trading environment.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, did you ever find, it's funny because I think my discipline was actually pretty great when we had more volatility, and I was more able to get in and out and follow my rules. And it's funny how my discipline has gone off a cliff when it's a time where honestly, I believe there are very few trades to be taken. And so every time I take one, it's like going to the casino. It doesn't even feel like, anything that's real.
Are you journaling?
I have been. And it's something that I feel like I don't want to walk away from it, but I do think that right now what I'm focused on is what you're kind of talking about, is waiting for, I really want to wait for the move. I don't think day trading for me is possible in this chop, and I am taking a step back, but I also know that I have that natural ability to identify the huge moves, and if I can survive into the next round, I could do really well. It's just about survival.
Yeah, I mean, I think clearly have a good head on your shoulders. I think you have to get over yourself though a little bit, and you have to get over like, but by that I mean like the way I have to get over myself and my ability to want to gamble, or my ability to not journal at this time, and I won't write this trade down, and this one will just be a quick whatever. Or you just got to get over your temptations and just be more disciplined, and wait for volatility, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
Awesome. Well, thanks. I really appreciate that you're in this space. You're kind of, a gift to all of us. So thanks for everything that you do.
You're super sweet. By the way, I have a new book coming out in a few weeks. Check.
I
Keep
can't
an eye out for
wait
it.
to check it out. Are you going to do
Yes.
an audio book? Because I'm
Yes.
so bad with like the reading, but I did do your book via audiobook.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what got me. That's what got me to do it.
That's fantastic. I will do an Audible for it. It's going to take probably at least a month after I publish the other one, because like I do like one chapter at a time, and then I like listen to it and do it like 10 times, and then it's like really annoying, but it was worth it. Like just to have the audiobook's pretty cool. So,
awesome. Well,
thank you.
Congratulations. Can't wait to hear it.
All right, right on. Take care. All right, that was really cool. Let's go to Rainbow. Rainbow Cat. Nice to have you. What's going on?
Hey, Chats, big fan. We talked like 2 months ago, I think, on the Spaces also, and
Okay.
and you said I should take care or that I don't get humbled, and I got humbled very fucking bad.
Oh, it happened. The universe knows, man. The universe knows, right?
Look, I accepted. I accepted. So I learned I'm break even at the moment, and I'm stuck. Like literally, I'm stuck. Like
Tell me what you mean.
I mean that I take the trades. Some of them are great, and most of them I break even. Yeah, I understand that the environment where we are in is choppy as hell, and you can't like see a good moves, and so. And then I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. Either I trade 5-minute charts or I trade 4-hour charts. It's same result.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be. The only time you could, in theory, the only theoretical time to ever trade a 5-minute chart would be after extreme volatility.
No, okay.
Okay, the law of time frames is, and by the way, I'll get to you, Abu. I get to everybody one at a time. So I see you have your hand up. I promise I'll get to you, my friend. Time frames. The longer the time frame, the stronger the signal. So that's the pretty obvious one. Everyone knows that, right? But when do you switch to lower time frame? You switch to lower time frame. Number one, when the price is at a key level, like the neckline of Head and Shoulders, or an ascending triangle, or some well-defined level, a moving average maybe that the price is really kind of bounced off of. That's when you go to lower time frame. But I still don't even think you would go to 5-minute. That's kind of ridiculous. For me, I dropped to 1 hour after volatility. It's probably the lowest I ever go is 1 hour. If there was unbelievable volatility, I might go to the 5-minute. I mean, just because but I would never trade off of that. But then again, this is my style. I'm here teaching my style. I'm not here telling people the only way to do it, but this is what I understand. I've read, I've studied professionally, and makes sense to me. So listen, you got to get off the 5-minute chart. You're bored. You're definitely bored. 4 hours, fine. 4 hours, a good time frame. Bitcoin does well trading off the 4 hour. Pay attention to the MA200. Pay attention when the price breaks up above the upper Bollinger and down below the lower Bollinger. Those are things always to watch for on the 4 hour. But a lot of the time, there's nothing, especially in the weekend. Bitcoin hadn't been doing anything the last few weekends. Nothing. And it just is what it is. So if you find yourself bored, man, grab a textbook. There's a lot of great textbooks. Have you read the textbooks I recommend yet?
Not all of them at the moment. I'm finishing Japanese candlesticks.
Good.
And I have also a question about the books because I have a collection on my PC of PDFs because I read on PC mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't know, I find it easier. I'm a little bit lazy to read a real book, but I found a book. I found a book called Encyclopedia of Candlesticks. Is it worth?
That's from Bolkowski. You don't need to read that. That's like a reference book when you're maybe trying to look up a specific pattern. You do not need to read that book. What you want to read after Nissen, you've read my book yet? First, I assume.
Yep. I wrote to you that I bought it. Like I spammed you literally.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's a great book. I learned a lot. I learned to control myself because I was like panicking most of the time before, and I was like not thinking clear. And then I read your book. I found the way to, so to say, calm myself. Is that the way to say it?
Calm, yes, calm. Yeah, very good.
And not to be like, not to FOMO in like, oh, there's a move, I'm gonna miss the monies, and so I was like, nah, it's gonna either retrace or I'll find a better entry or something, or there's another day.
So you're done. That's, I mean, it should save you years of like miserable trading, which is like that I went through, so you don't have to. So listen, the next book you did my book first. That's right. And then you read the candlestick book. That's right. Third book you need to read is Classical Charting book by Schaubacher. Because
Okay.
now and especially since you've read my book, it's not like a heavy technicals, but it's like a third, technicals in the back of it where I give a lot of the like basic fundamental theories of classical charting that you need to understand, like for trend analysis. Like having read my book and the Nissen book, you're now ready for this book, and it's going to make a lot more sense to you, and that's going to be fun as you're reading it. You're going to read stuff and say, "Oh, I kind of already know that, but now I know this," and it will make it fun. So you're just keeping that direction. I just attached a tweet to the spaces. Everyone listening, you kind of scroll up. It says Chad's 2022 textbook recommendations. You see that green book? That's the one I'm talking about, the classical charting book. So get with that. That's going to hook you up, man. Do that because it's boring right now. There's no real trading. Go read a textbook.
Yeah, I have all the books except for the CMT because in the moment, financially not in the situation to buy the CMT book. Like literally, I have 2 TradingView accounts separated on 2 screens that I can follow us indicators because I really am so knap on the budget at the moment. I have my trading budget and then I have my life budget. Like the trading budget, I don't touch it. I don't feel it in.
You don't have to spend use a lot of money to learn. I mean, just have very small positions and heavily. Every journal should be trade should be journaled, especially as a new trader, because you're paying for these lessons. Why wouldn't you keep them? Right? That like you're literally paying. Like a lost trade is a lesson you paid for. Right? Don't just throw it away. So all right, brother.
Okay. Thanks, Chad.
Man, check back in next time. Let me know how you're doing. Okay.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Folks, step up and request to speak. I'd love to hear from you. I'll get to you, Abu, in just a moment. We're going to do, I'm doing one at a time. Roast Beef Bandit. Why don't you go ahead and step in? There's still a couple spots if anybody wants to speak. What's up, Mr. Roast Beef?
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, it's another day, my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. Quick question for you. You think, seems like most of the market right now is kind of favoring the low. You see like a short squeeze situation where we kind of get like a brief pump up and then it drops off, or you think it's
talking about Bitcoin, or are we talking about what?
No, Bitcoin overall market.
Do I think we get a short squeeze? Yeah, I could. I mean, if we get a follow through day on equities like Monday, and it could definitely lead into a short squeeze. I don't have like in front of me, like whatever commitment of trader reports or what, like all the stuff that will show you that. But I think if we get a follow through day and get some type of a rally, then definitely.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stop hunting going on right now, right, with the market makers.
Yeah, there's a lot of stop hunting going on. If you look in this channel, you're making a great point. If you look at kind of the daily candle structure, even the weekly, you see these high wave candles, upper lower shadows. That's stop hunting. It's not a trader's market right now. It's a trendless market. It's a market maker's market, right? So it could bounce, and if it could reverse. If it does, for me, it's going to flip 22.5. That's the first level. I'm seriously going to get serious about being bullish. Everything up into that, I'm looking to fade the move, and I'm looking to short a 22.5 test. But if it flips it, I'm looking to go long.
Right.
So I'm gonna define for me levels at which will get me interested, and then most of the time, like right now, there's nothing. I'll get interested, see what it does around 18, 17.5 to 18. I'll get really interested to see what it does. And then same on the upside, like I said, 22.5. So that's kind of how I'm approaching it. In the meantime, nothing to do.
That's what I was looking. 23 grand, kind of in
I
that
think
range.
23 is good. You break 23, you're going to 25.5, at least 25K, and that in itself is a nice little trade. So,
and then just 2 more questions. What do you think about the Schmiede year? Is it something the Schmiede year?
Say again?
The Schmiede year?
What does that mean?
It's like a 7-year cycle that kind of, for the last 40 or 50 years has been kind of like you bottom out and then you kind of have a full year to recover.
So there's cycle theory, right? So, in cycle theory, then there's the midterm is supposed to be like a good year. And like, we're supposed to have a midterm rally that hasn't happened. There's all these things and the like cycles and where it gives you like a general idea of what probably might happen, but I think we just have to be so focused on what is like our most recent information. Like the more we start to map out based on like larger projections, I feel like it takes us away from watching what's happening now, because that's where all the information is. Like when people, and maybe I'm not making my point that well, but like when people say, what's the price going to be in 9 months? It's like, nobody knows that. Like, you kidding me? Like this whole 9 month, not even like a month out. I mean, right now you could probably guess sideways and you'd probably have a decent bet, but like, you try to go out more than that. I mean, nobody knows. So I think we have to, cycles. I don't personally, I'm not a cycle theorist, but one of my colleagues, Bob Lucas, is amazing with it. I mean, he does a 4-year journey, and he's been trading longer than me, and he does really well. So I have a lot of respect for him, but it's not my school of thought. I want to know what's going on right now on the 4-hour in relation to the daily and the weekly. And that's it. That's kind of how I'm playing it out.
All right, and then I just one last question, just in regards to quant. Assuming that we do sell off and Bitcoin heads for the depths of Hades.
Okay.
What do you think happens with quant in regards to like supply shock and limited tokens left in the token?
The question, and so the way I can answer that, I think, in terms of the way you're asking is, I would, if you would normally just ask me, hey, like, what's a buy the dip level on quant? I'll give you levels, but this is more of the whole market's going down. What are the like deeper levels in quant, right? That would be interesting. So let's take a look at it. So 177, what are we at right now? Let me go to the weekly then, see if I can get a sense of it. All right. Yeah, I mean, look, it's got support 150, but then another level you definitely pay attention to is around like 128 to 130. If you just say go to the weekly chart, and you can see when the price bottomed out in June, right, this year, and then it topped out in August, right? All right, we did a higher low, right? It paused. It did what's called a morning star, a 3-candle combo, end of August, beginning of September. Do you see that?
Yep.
That's your higher low, right? So now you have your low established in June. Now you have your higher low established in what was that? In August. So now that's another level we just established. Now we have the high of August right there at 128. Now you have the higher low to watch again at 94, 95, right? It's very easy to kind of map out these must-hold levels for the like overall structure of the long-term health of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you want to buy with around 95 to 100. I think would be a very confident buy if the market.
I guess kind of what I'm asking is like let's just say that Bitcoin takes it down to 30K.
So what?
Let's just say Bitcoin takes a dive down to 14K. How far would you think quant would lag behind that, given the fact that they're almost in full, that all the tokens are pretty much in full circulation?
It would always depend how it would depend how Bitcoin gets there. Depend about like the momentum, but like I said, that's all you got to watch: 150, 130, and 100, and just can't.
DC down.
No, I don't. Why DCA? No, I'm talking about trades, and each of those levels are a level you would enter a trade and have a stop loss close by. I'm in at 150.
Gotcha.
I'm out if it breaks below 145. I'm in at 130. I'm out if it's below 126.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to ride it down. I don't ride down trends. I don't ride bad ideas. You exit and reassess, because that's all. Like, if you can do fantastic winning only 30% of your trades. Your winners, just ride your winners. You have great winners, but small losers. That's the secret. Small losers. That's the secret, right? So that's how I play it, brother. I hope you kick ass. I hope you do well.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Take care. Mo, thanks for being patient, Mo. What would you like to say? And folks, hit that request button. Nobody is on the on deck circle. What's up, Mo?
Hi, big fan of you, Chats. Thank you for all the tweets and everything.
Cool.
My question just got answered by I don't know, Sean. He said or you said Bitcoin will range now the descending triangle, and then maybe it will break down, and then 70.5K is the first level to watch, right?
What level? Oh, 17. Well, I mean, support is not that Support is not that well defined, but it's generally, 17.5 to 18.5 is a zone of support, an area of interest.
So it's my question is if we lose this pattern, then we're gonna see a drop to 75, 18, and then is it possible then we just reverse to the channel again, and then just chop for another month,
Absolutely.
for another like month or two.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would be miserable, but it could totally happen. I mean, I've traded Bitcoin a while, many years, and like we had the 80 days. We did this for like 80 days back in 2021. I don't know if you were around, but it was May, June, July, and that was so miserable. But this is worse.
Yeah.
So, but at least that's why I'm doing stuff. I'm doing projects in my life. It's keeping me, busy while we've got nothing going on here.
Yeah, this sideways chop is really fucked. I'm not gonna lie. So
no edge, man. No edge.
Yeah. So that was my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, folks. If I don't get any more people stepping up, I will wrap it up. You hit that button in the bottom left. I'll take your question. I am Big Chets on Twitter. I'm the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. You can see the link at the top of the spaces. It's on Amazon. You can get it for free on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. Bitcoin Live. I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. It's probably the best team in the world that studies Bitcoin, and I'm honored to be a founding analyst. And I personally do a twice a week full market report. So consider checking that out. I've got a few more speakers. I'm going to bring you up. Please wait until I call you, and we'll go from there. Please just wait until I call you. Let's start with Gallant. Gallant.
Yeah, hi, Jed.
Hey, what's going on?
Good.
Good. What can I do for you today?
I've been having so many issues with this. A lot of trading patterns, techniques, candlesticks.
Yeah.
I was told so many of these things are supposed to work, but in reality, when you try to use it to trade, it doesn't work half of the time. It works half of the time. The rest of the time, it fails. Patterns, candlesticks, a lot of things, both indicators and all, it fails.
Yeah.
Why?
So let me speak to that. Here's what I think is important. For example, candlesticks, right?
Yeah.
Not all candlesticks are created equally. Like not all hammer candles are created equally. All right.
Yeah.
What do I mean? What do I mean by that? Well, specifically talk about a hammer candle. So a hammer candle, the ideal situation for a hammer candle is below the lower Bollinger Band. Right? You have to use Bollinger Bands with candlesticks because you need a trend to reverse.
Okay.
Below the lower Bollinger Band after a sharp move down. Right? A hammer candle is not as good after sideways. A hammer candle is better if it comes after a move down. Right? Number one, number two, Bollinger Band. Number three, with volume. A hammer candle with more than average volume is a pretty good signal. A hammer candle with weak volume is a terrible signal. So it's understanding, it's like looking at, a bunch of rings, a bunch of diamond rings. You have to be able to spot the fake ones without touching them.
That's
right.
True.
So that's, a moving average cross is only useful in a trending market, right? When everything's moving sideways and the moving averages are crossing, what is that? That's nothing, right?
Yeah.
So every signal is context. It's the volume behind it, where it appears in relation to prior highs, to prior lows. And it can be frustrating to read about something and then go try to use it and it doesn't work. You have to know the context of the signal, how strong it is, and then you have to learn how to apply your risk properly. That's part of it as well.
I get that.
All right, brother.
Listen,
my advice is to you. Have you watched the videos on my YouTube channel yet in that playlist called Masterclass Webinar?
No. I'll do that too.
You have to do that before you start trading. That's going to teach you all the basics and doing it right.
I've been trading for a while.
You need to stop until you watch those videos. It's going to help you a lot, brother.
Yeah, thanks for that. Actually, I have been doing great for some time, but recently those things have been failing, and that's where I'm having problem.
Well, listen, I feel your struggle. It's a sideways market. My advice now is to trade less and to study more. It's a good time to study. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you, man.
All right.
It's great to have you. That's you folks. That's what you got to do, right? I have a quote in my upcoming book, Trading Quotes. It's something to the effect of, go long when the bears celebrate, take profit when the bulls celebrate, and spend the rest of your time studying textbooks to get better. That's the way to do it. Let's get level 10 noob. Good to see you, buddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, Chats, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. What's up with you?
Haven't been on your spaces for a while now. So first of all, thanks for the salty tweets every time Sailor buys some Bitcoin.
I
really
probably need to not do that though. I think I'm giving into I'm giving into negative energy there. I need to kind of let it go.
I get it. I
You
get
know,
it.
but it's still funny. I'm still annoyed because I feel like he's just attacking my people. It's like I'm a shepherd and he's the wolf. You know, so I have to. I don't know. I don't know.
I get it. So, Chats, my question. I really, it took me a while to really understand what you try to tell people is you're just looking at the charts. You're trying to fade out all the noise, whatever news are there. I think there's a lot of information that really bias you in some way that is actually detrimental to your trading, right? Because you get whatever you call that, like a predisposition or an idea, which is maybe completely wrong because you just get one or two opinions and you don't really have the grip on the market. It's really difficult because it's such a big world out there, right? But the chart basically is telling you what the consensus is, right, of the majority of the people.
You know what the danger is? It's a great topic. The danger is, and this is what I've done so many times, because I talk about the concept that like a true chart technician can articulate both the bullish and bearish thesis.
Yes.
And in that, as I'm saying, you can kind of always look at it one way or another if you want to. So I've had so many massive losses where I've had an idea in my mind that I accepted as truth, and nothing would change that. So I filtered everything I saw on the chart in a certain way. Every dip was the bottom. Every little bounce was the bottom. I would just add to everything. Every signal would be assigned to add because I had convinced myself, ahead of time that, of what was going to happen in 6 months or a year or something outside of the chart. And that's where, I've lost unbelievable amounts of money with that strategy, right? So that's why, I warn against it.
Yeah. So my question is basically, what it's all about risk management, right? But there's a time. What would be, let's say, a telltale for you that you just are completely wrong on your idea and just cut it immediately without thinking about it? Even
that's easy. That's really easy.
Yes.
Look, you only enter a trade that you can very easily define when your idea fails, right?
Yes.
So I'm long. So the price keeps rejecting at 100. And then now it breaks above 100. I am long because we're above 100. How do I know I'm wrong? When we're back below 98 or something, just below my level, then I'm back below 100. So my idea is wrong. So
yes.
that you have to, every trade, if you can't define when you're wrong, then you just don't take the trade.
Yeah. Now I get it. And I think it's a good advice.
Good.
Because you remember on the CPI read on that day, you actually took a short and you got stopped out at 19.2, I think.
Yep. What did it do
and
afterwards? I don't remember.
And
it went up to 20.4 or something, right?
Yeah, and late, no, it didn't go that much, but actually it ran up in the mid. It was night here in Europe, but it ran up to 19.8 or something just to kill all the trap shorts, right?
Sure.
If someone would have stopped it right there where your stop loss was, it would have been let's say a loss, but still kind of you preserved a lot of your capital.
Exactly. I try to be, so letting go, it's so hard to let go of a trade because it's final and it's like admitting you made a mistake.
Yes.
So that's why I try to enter my trade as close to an invalidation level as possible.
Yeah.
And that's, you got to think about that. You got to just keep thinking about that.
Just to get to this 50% where you actually get this martingale function that you can enter again and compound on that, right? Yeah,
Look, I don't mind. I'll enter a level, and if my idea fails, and then it's revalidated, I'll try it again.
Yeah,
and I can do that because I'm scaling into my position. I'm not firing huge bullets. It's a manageable amount. It's a position size that I'm not going to get emotional about, right? I'm checking all these boxes that are strategy, right? And I have a pretty close stop loss, a well-defined thesis, right? I'm long because it's at the MA 50 and it's never closed below it. Oh, we just closed below it. Okay, fine, I'm out. Like it's just it's that, right?
So it's basically most of the thing is to catch the entry, and then it's discipline just to cut it when you're wrong, right?
That's it, brother. That's it, man.
All right. Thank you for your time.
I thank you. Thanks for stepping up. It's a great crowd today. Great questions. I love doing this. All right, let's see. Anon Cheney. Hey, good to see you, buddy. What's going on? Good to see you again.
How are you, Shades? How is everything? Your health, trades?
Good. How you been, man? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good.
Right. So we do have a Bollinger Band tightening on the daily and weekly.
Yeah.
So
well, weekly, not quite yet. I mean, it's getting tighter. We don't really have a squeeze. I mean, daily we've got a pinch, but weekly is kind of, it's got some ways to go.
Okay, so every time it kind of sweeps the lows, the bounces are getting weaker and weaker.
That's a descending triangle, right? That you're describing a descending triangle.
Okay, so the range will get tighter and tighter. So how long do you think before this ranging goes on and before this resolves? We know a powerful move is coming off this consolidation.
Yeah. So listen, it's such a great question. I have to admit that I don't know because about 2 weeks ago, it was also super tight, and I said we'll probably break out of this in 4 or 5 days. That was 2 weeks ago. So I think I'm past at this point really saying anything. I think I just need to wait for it to do something. It already should have bounced. It's just this. It feels inorganic. There's not a lot of volume. We're in a very tight range, and like this is like Bitcoin doesn't do this for this long to be be in this tighter range. So when I'm in this type of situation where it's like we feel like you don't have information, and I step back out and I say, okay, let me look at the longer term chart. I'll look at the weekly. All right, yes, all right. We're in a slow sideways consolidation in a bear market. So what's it probably going to do? Probably going to continue down. But what does that mean? Does that mean 80% going to continue down, or does it mean 60%? I think probably closer to 60%. So that I'm still then going to go back to the daily chart and mark the levels where I want to get interested, and we're far below them right now. So I'm just going to wait. That's all we can do is wait.
All right. So right now I'm on the sidelines, and does the days of volatility does it really have a lot to do with depleting our emotional capital and just creating a sentimental bottom and market depression? And how often do these days of volatility happen to financial markets? I know it does not seem normal, and you have said it's inorganic.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel organic to me. Look. I think we'll just have to wait and see, brother. I think there's some good. It's a good time. It's a good time to brush up on your skills, like I was saying to earlier people. So think about it that way. I'm glad you're on the sidelines. Be ready for volatility, and when it comes, don't get freaked out. Right? Volatility leads to opportunity. So if and when it comes, just be patient and apply good strategy. Apply good stop loss. Have no fear if you have a good plan and a good stop loss. All right.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Chase. Always checking in as usual. Have a wonderful day, and thank you.
Thank you, man. All right, we got a few more here. Hitesh. What's up, Hitesh? Good to see you. What's going on today, bud?
Hi, Shed. So I'm a beginner trader. So I have a very basic question to you. So I get a confusion, when I have to I have to, when I have to check that is it a breakout or it's not a breakout. So how do you confirm a breakout, and how is it related to volume? And like it's such a pump and dump market. By the time I kind of make out that it's a proper breakout, the market dumps. So that is the kind of problem I'm facing.
So the last point you made is a great point. And when you say that you're facing it, we're all facing it. So when you kind of accept that we're in a choppy sideways market, that allows you to not feel so bad if your trade fails, but it should encourage you to kind of step back a little bit and wait for a really good situation. But let's talk about breakouts. So you want to see volume to confirm the breakout. You want to see, when you think of a volume and you think about a pattern, all right? So in your mind, think about a bull flag. right?
Okay.
No, let's think about a bull flag. You get the most volume on the flag pole when it shoots up.
Right.
And then the volume will slowly trail off, right?
Right. Right.
When it breaks out, you want the volume again, because you want the volume to show that the market is committing to the continuation of that trend, right? So the more
Right.
volume, the better on the breakout. Confirmation is your choice. If you think about, I could list 5 different confirmation methods. I watch intraday. If I'm trading it, I'm watching it. So I'll just go a pure price move, and I'm long, right? Or I'm short, whatever I'm doing. I don't wait for the 4-hour candle close. I don't wait for the daily candle close. Most people have real jobs, so they probably should wait for a daily candle close. Some people are really conservative, wait for 2 closes. So you can have one candle body close. You can have 2 body closes. You can have a percentage move away from a level. That's a confirmation method. You can have a time filter. If it stays above that, for a certain period of time, there's all these ways to quote unquote confirm. It has to do with how much you can watch. So think about
So
that, and then yeah.
if it's a confirmed breakout on a
Yeah.
4-hour candle,
All
so
right.
do we have but what I can see from the candle from the volume, that yes, there is volume, but now I somehow make out that it's already overbought on the 4H. So do I wait for the retest and then buy in, or how should I go about
So
it?
there's 2 ways to do that. Yeah, I mean, that's up to, this is a good question. You can either buy on a breakout or on a retest, but nothing in between. Okay. That's what you got to understand, right? So for example, like with Bitcoin, and for example, I would buy on a breakout of 22.5, or I might buy on a retest of 18K, but I'm not touching in between.
Okay.
Right. So that's the same concept. So yeah, you can do both, breakout or retest. If you're right at the break, if I'm doing a breakout, I want to really get it right when it happens. I don't want to buy a late breakout, because then it's just no bueno. But I like retests. Retests are nice and easy because you can kind of scale into it, kind of drop to lower time frame, and kind of wait for something to form. So for me, if I'm doing a breakout, I want to catch it right when it happens. Otherwise, I'll wait for a
So
retest. All right.
So, if it's a breakout on the daily, then we can
Yeah.
try to enter when it touches the M8 on the 4H. We can do like that also.
Well, what level? I mean, if you're talking about Bitcoin, I already told you it's 22.5 and 18K.
Yeah,
More or
no,
less.
I'm speaking in general.
Yeah.
If there's any token, and if it confirm we have a breakout on a daily level,
Yeah.
then we can try and enter when it retest probably the MA8 of the 4 hourly or something like that.
And look, like I said earlier, if you're watching a 4-hour chart, good. If you can watch the chart, right? Not everyone can day trade. That's a day trading time frame. So
Right,
if you
right,
can watch it, that's fine. Any time frame, I think, certainly 4 hours fine. 1 hour, maybe at the lowest, is fine if you can watch it. So it's up to you,
right.
man. But the lower the time frame, the riskier it is. All right.
Correct.
All
Thank
right,
you so
man.
much, Rich.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Blessings. We'll do it. We'll try to wrap this. I'm going to go lightning speed to get the last 2 folks in here. So, Chart Striker, you've been patient. What's up, Chart Striker? I'm going to try to get through everybody here quickly. What's going on, Chart Striker? Talk to me, man.
Hello, hi. This is Dana, and
Hi, Dana.
I've been following you recently. I stumbled upon your Twitter, and I really think you teach interesting things when it comes to candlesticks.
Thank you.
So I appreciate that. You said something interesting to one of the listeners about hammers and Bollinger Bands.
Yeah.
I usually use candlesticks a lot too as a tool, but this one was something interesting you said. Usually
Yeah.
I use the hammer. Well, I noticed the hammer when the real body is like two times shorter than the wick, than the
Yep.
shadow.
Yeah.
And I usually use the low of the hammer as a support. But
Yes.
I never
Yep.
heard this combination of a Bollinger Band and a hammer at the same time. And I'd
Yeah.
like for you to maybe go a bit into the details and explain that.
I love the question. It's like one of my favorite questions. And
Thank you.
So I have a tweet. I have a quote for my upcoming book, and I'll plug it again. It's called Trading Quotes. And it
Thank you.
says all you really need to make money is to learn how to read Bollinger Bands and Japanese candlesticks.
Okay.
Because so first of all, I would highly recommend you go to my YouTube channel. It's Ched's Trading.
We'll do
And
so.
and there's a playlist called Masterclass Webinars. There's three beginner and one advanced. You're gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna love it, and it's gonna explain exactly how to use candlesticks and volume and all this stuff. You need it's like the same concept, not just in Eastern technicals, candlesticks, as it is in Western technicals, classical charting. You need a trend to reverse. If it's a reversal candle, what are you reversing? If the price is going sideways and you get a hammer, like what's the point of that? That's not really giving you anything. But if you get a hammer after a strong move down, that's why it's a better position. Bollinger Band is the price movement against the standard deviation of the price range, and so. I mean, Bollingers are so good. Bollinger Bands, it's just uncanny how good they are as a trading tool. And you look for a hammer, a dragonfly doji. I mean, just look for any dip, really, and you get it below the lower Bollinger. Deep, if you look at the daily chart, like, for example, if you look at the daily chart for Bitcoin for the last 3 months, every time it's gone below the daily Bollinger Band, you've had a nice bounce, even though it's been incredibly bearish. So, like, you can use the Bollinger Bands. If you're going to be a candlestick enthusiast, you have to use them in concert with Bollinger Bands.
Okay, that's a real good explanation, because I've never combined those two. And when it comes to your, YouTube channel, I'm definitely gonna follow and watch those classes. I used to, well, I've taken those master classes from Steve Nilsson when it comes to candlesticks.
Good.
So I'm pretty familiar with them. Like, it's my favorite tool, I said, but I'm definitely gonna follow you, and thank you for the answer, because I really wanted to know the combination. So thank you. It was a well explained answer. Thank you very much.
That was a brilliant question. Thank you. Great day. Okay?
Thank you.
I can't
Thank
hear
you.
you.
The same.
Can you hear me?
All right. Please wait until I call you, please. And it's not your turn yet. Dr. Congo, what's going on?
Yo, hi, Chats. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. How are you?
Great to hear. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Good.
So I actually have two questions. One is regarding support or resistance when moving averages are, let's say, close together. Sometimes it happens that they're on multiple moving averages on one line, so to speak.
Yeah. What do you mean, like right now, because they're all sideways? Or what do you mean? Give me an example.
I don't have a concrete example right now. I just observed it once in a while, and I just asked myself if you would consider it a stronger support or a stronger resistance if multiple moving averages are kind of overlaying.
So yes, you're asking the right question. There's something called confluence. So when you have like let's say you have an uptrend that's been consolidating, and it broke down a little bit, but like if you step back, it's still pretty strong, right? You know what I mean? Like, put that chart in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the chart bounces and it drops further, and then it hits the MA50, but the MA50 is also with the MA200 right there too.
Yes.
Like that's pretty good, right?
Okay.
But right?
Okay.
The key with moving averages and the prices, the moving average can't lead. The price has to lead. So the price has to like bounce off of it twice before you really start to like pay attention to it, count on it. So it's all about the price moving average interaction, and that's a fluid dynamic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, it's scary good. For example, if you want to talk about a moving average, look at the daily EMA 34. Right,
mm-hmm.
It's been the most important level on the daily chart since it topped in last November, in the last year. It's the daily EMA 34. I've been tweeting about it. Look for those tweets, or just look and see what it's done. It rejected every time until it started to go sideways, January through April, and then it rejected every time until it started to go sideways here since June. So that's another level to watch. So that's the thing. Let the price lead, not the moving average.
Okay, I see. Thank you for that. And my other question is, more of a general question. So, would you consider let's take Dash as an altcoin? Would you consider buying Dash, just for example?
I mean,
just
that chart, I would assume no, since most of these altcoin charts suck. But like, I wouldn't buy a chart just because it sucks or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, when it's almost at the 2017 and 2018 lows, right? It almost has hit its floor, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
okay.
You wouldn't consider to buy this
No,
or just a
all
quick
right. So
one?
here's what I'd
Mhm.
say. I'd say
Okay.
it's a reasonable level. You're asking a reasonable question. It's testing the 19 and 20 lows. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's actually not a terrible. So I'll take back what I said earlier. Just because you have a level there, you have a clearly defined trade idea. If you want to go
Yeah.
long here, it's fine, but you have to get out. I think below like 35. I mean, you gotta. I mean that your idea is pretty much dead. I think 35. You gotta get out of that trade if you're trying to go long here.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
So that's how I would play it. I wouldn't stick around because now you're talking about, do I add at 25? It's like, what? You've gone in at 40 and you're asking me if you're going to add at 25? Like, you made a mistake somewhere if you're in
Yeah,
that
sure.
situation, right? Think about that. So,
Okay.
all right.
Good. Yeah. All right. Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
brother. Thank you so much. We're going to
You
wrap
too.
up. Thank you for stepping up, and thank you so far to everyone. You folks are what makes these interesting. I will, by the way, upload this to YouTube later. All Crypto, Tim Show. It's your turn. What's going on, bud?
Good evening.
Timmy, wait, Timmy, I'll have you next. All Crypto, what's going on?
Yeah. Thank you for having me on your space.
Hi.
I have a very short question. When do you think the next bull run will happen? The next BTC bull run will happen?
I mean, if we don't get a bounce like right here and right now, like this week, right before the midterms, probably March, April. Probably if we don't get it right now, maybe March, April. I don't know. And it's like, how do you define a bull run too? Because if it bounced from here to like 35K, that would be a bull run, right? But if you're someone who needs it to go back to 65K, then maybe it's not a bull run to you. So that's also part of it, is how you're defining it.
So can we still see a bounce like that this year before the year runs out?
It's possible. It's very possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it will happen, it's going to break 22.5K first. And when that happens, I'll start to go long. That's my strategy. I don't need to guess when it's going to happen. I just need to know how I'm going to react if it starts to happen. Do you see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
All right.
One last question. My last question. Are you there?
Yep.
Do you think BTC has bottomed out? Do you think this is the bottom?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know, man. All right. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't know. If you find someone who does know, tell me, and we can, I'd like to know. Look,
if I knew somebody that would tell me, I wouldn't be asking. I don't know.
That's the whole point, is no one knows. The price hasn't happened. It's all about a probability scale. Even it's like 60% likely to go lower, but that's not 80%, 90%. Okay. And so, all right. Take care, brother. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you in our last one. We're gonna do Timmy. What's up, Timmy?
Hey, bro. Thank you so much for having me on. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a great conversation today. I'm glad. Glad you're here. So what's going on, bud?
Yeah, glad to be in too, bro. Glad to be in too. Just going back to your last a little bit ago about the stop losses, etc. So, how do you personally yourself set your risk on a stop loss on a particular time frame? So, for instance, on the 1 minute time frame, your stop loss is going to be a little bit different to a daily time frame according to your trading plan. How do you personally define when you are right and when you are wrong post key levels?
So that's the thing. That's it, right? You said it, the key levels. So,
yes.
My stop loss is when my idea fails. So if I can't define my idea, then how can I define when that idea fails, right? So that's one thing. So for example, I talked about it earlier. Like if my whole thing is I've observed, which is the first step, is an observation. I've observed the price keeps rejecting at $100. It does it 4 or 5 times, but the next time it breaks it. Now it breaks it. I can go long, and I know I'm wrong when it's back below that level.
Yeah,
so that's my stop loss.
I see.
Number one. Number two, you need to think to yourself, can I make at least 3 times as much profit as a potential loss from my stop loss triggering? So you need a minimum 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. That's a fundamental of classical charting. You need
Perfect.
at least a 3 to 1. All right.
Perfect. Nice one, bro. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for stepping up, man. Check out my YouTube. Go watch all those videos. You'll have a good
I'm
time.
already there, bro. Much appreciated. Just a bit of reiteration.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good man. Thanks, Chad.
Take care.
Ciao.
Gallant, I've already had you up. I'll do one more crypto wisdom. I'll get you in. Haroon. Oh, there you are. Haroon, you'll be our last one. Gallant, I already had you. I got to move on, brother. I'm getting tired here. Haroon to be our last guest. It's nice to see you, man. What's going on?
Hey there, Chad. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. Why don't you wrap it up for us today? What's happening with you? What's going on?
Chad, I wanted to ask that if we see historically, Bitcoin have always made a correction of 85% from its all-time high. So mathematically, it's around 10 to 12K. Do you think that could be the possible bottom as we see the history? It has been repeated.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, you've seen my tweets and you've listened to other spaces, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about that as a big level to watch. I mean, I've been talking about 12K since March.
Okay.
So yes, but
what?
I don't know if we're going to get there. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
But what if we break the 10K level for a day or two? I mean,
then I'm out. I'm out. If we break 10K, that's a big red line in for me.
No. I mean, if it's a wick for a day or two, and then
then a lot of people are going to have stop losses triggered. I would be one of them.
Yeah.
And then I would buy back in again if we get back above 10. That'd be a great scenario to go long, especially if you've been on the sidelines. That'd be a wonderful signal, kind of like a spring off that 10K level. If that happened, I would be incredibly interested in building a position.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, man. Thank you so much. So, folks, thank you so much. In Gallant, like I said, I just had you earlier. I'm going to wrap things up, folks. I am Big Cheds on Twitter. You can find me, of course, on YouTube, Cheds Trading. That's where you'll find the playlist Trading Wisdom. It's the free version of my book. It's got hundreds of reviews on Amazon. If you want to kind of go see what it's all about, you can buy it there, Kindle, hardcover, paperback, and audio. I have a new Audible book. I have a new book coming out in a few weeks. Trading Quotes. Keep an eye out for that. If you are starting to learn how to trade, you have to start with that playlist on YouTube, Masterclass Webinars. It will teach you the basics of volume, moving averages, candlesticks, trade structuring, all that good stuff. If you want more than that, if you really want to learn how to trade, just to remind you, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I do a twice a week full market update. I've been doing it for over 4 years. I haven't missed a video in several years, and I'm just part of a great team. When you sign up, you get access to everyone's content, not just mine. So if you are curious to learn more and really get it right, check out Bitcoin Live. Anyway, folks, thank you. If you're listening right now on the replay, and it's actually days later, thank you to you as well, hanging out with me. I'm in the chat room with you, hanging out as well. So, folks, stay safe, and we'll talk soon. All right. Big Cheds out. All right. Another great spaces. Those are a lot of fun. I'll maybe do another one this week. We'll see. I have to be in the right mood. It has to be something going on to talk about. But, there's a little pump here, but this is not, let's go do another spaces, because really nothing's changed. We're still watching the levels. We're watching 22.5 and really 18K. So, it's nice to have a little volatility, but so far not so much yet. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. I hope you all have a fantastic day and a great remainder of the week. All right, Big Cheds out.